royal family mired in one of its biggest crises in history.
Prince Harry, Meghan Markle and their children could be set to lose their royal titles and when Prince William becomes monarch.
Prince William now winning this huge battle with his father King Charles for there to be an Act of Parliament introduced at Westminster to jettison not just Prince Andrew, Beatrice and Eugenie, but also Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, Archie and Lily once and for all.
Prince Harry has just received news no royal ever wants to hear. The palace has permanently revoked his right to use royal titles, not paused, not suspended, not until further notice, forever.
But if you thought the Prince Andrew scandal was the end of the changes that are coming under King William V, let me tell you, you are wrong.
A final, unequivocal message hits harder than any headline, any argument, any rumour. It tells Harry plainly and coldly, you are no longer entitled to the power, privilege or identity you were born into.
My sources say there is a growing feeling within Buckingham Palace that Prince William is winning the argument and that Charles may have to take a political stance on that matter.
Behind this message isn't a whisper or a warning. It's the strongest action the monarchy has taken since Harry stepped back from royal life. This is a moment years in the making. And now, for the first time, we can unpack exactly how it happened, why it happened, and how Meghan's actions became the trigger that pushed the monarchy to its limit. This is the story behind the letter, the story behind the anger, the story behind the collapse of Harry and Meghan's royal identity. The first shock came in the form of a single envelope. Formal, crested, unmistakable. A letter Harry and Meghan had been dreading for years, a letter they prayed would never arrive. Inside was a new royal directive, backed not just by the palace, but by Parliament itself. The message was simple. Harry and Meghan are permanently barred from using any royal titles for commercial purposes. No Duke of Sussex on speaking tours, no Prince Harry for corporate deals, no Duchess of Sussex for public events, documentaries, or projects. Their royal identity, the very foundation of their brand, is now legally protected from them. For a couple whose fame, opportunities, and income are tied heavily to royal status, this is more than a setback, it is a financial earthquake. Sources say Harry was stunned because, deep down, he had always believed the palace would never go this far. He believed the door would always remain slightly open. But this letter wasn't a warning, it wasn't a negotiation, it wasn't an invitation, it was final. To understand why, we must return to the moment everything began slipping out of their control. For years, the palace was patient, cautious, even hesitant. But the breaking point came from a single fact, one many still do not fully understand. Queen Elizabeth II gave Harry and Meghan a direct royal command. Not a suggestion, not a polite request, not a quiet agreement between family members. She said clearly, you may no longer use the HR style. No exceptions, no private loopholes, no wiggle room. But what did Meghan do? She continued using it, sometimes quietly, sometimes openly, sometimes so boldly that even royal advisors could hardly believe it. And this was more than a breach of etiquette. Using HRH without permission is a misuse of royal property. HRH belongs to the crown, not the individual. Every royal knows this, every advisor knows this. But Meghan either didn't understand or refused to abide, and the palace took notice. Each time she used HRH, she tested the boundaries, pushing further and further. And boundaries, as we know, only stretch so far before they snap. The turning point wasn't a single mistake, it was a pattern of defiance. It started in Vancouver, when their initials appeared on screen with an HRH-style monogram, small enough to dismiss, but the palace noticed. Then came Nigeria, where, at their farewell dinner, Meghan and Harry were introduced as their Royal Highnesses, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. The British national anthem played, the crowd rose. Respect was given freely to people the Queen had already stripped of it. then Columbia. Again, full royal styling, state-level recognition. And Meghan didn't stop there, signing gift baskets with royal styling, accepting honours and protocols reserved only for working royals. Each incident added fuel to a fire that was already catching. By the time Ukraine publicly used the HRH title for Harry, the palace had reached its limit. Inside the palace, Prince William had been watching quietly, carefully, with growing frustration. While Harry and Meghan used titles they no longer held, William was left to clean up the damage. Royal experts often say the monarchy survives on three things: credibility, transparency, and public trust. And with every unauthorized royal appearance, trust was slipping away. So William sent a subtle message, not through scandal or leaks, but something far more royal. During an interview with Eugene Levy, he said two words that now resonate louder than anything else: change is coming. It wasn't a threat, it wasn't an attack, it was a promise. Behind closed doors, meetings began, not with advisors or publicists, but with Parliament. Together, they crafted a law the monarchy had never needed before, a law that would make the misuse of royal titles a serious offence. This law doesn't mention Harry or Meghan by name, but every detail hits directly at their income streams. No royal family member may use a royal title to make money for speeches, books, TV deals, endorsements, or entertainment. Even charitable ventures must avoid royal styling. The moment this law passed, the letter arrived. Official, unmistakable, devastating. For Harry and Meghan, the consequences were immediate. Netflix deals, speaking events, brand recognition, all dependent on royal identity, were suddenly imperiled. Without titles, they are no longer global royals, they are simply celebrities. And the palace now has the legal power to protect the royal brand in a way it never has before. Sources say William pushed this law because the monarchy had reached a crossroads: adapt to protect itself or lose control forever. And Harry and Meghan now stand outside that protection. The letter hit Meghan hardest. For someone who built her entire public identity around being the Duchess of Sussex, the loss isn't just professional, it's deeply personal. She faces a harsh reality. She can no longer be the Duchess of Sussex in public life. Instead, she must choose between Rachel, Meghan Markle, or Mrs. Mountbatten Windsor. Each option strips away the royal fantasy she's lived since 2018. Without the palace behind her, Meghan is forced to confront a question she never imagined: who am I without the crown? Reports suggest Harry and Meghan are now seeking legal counsel, preparing for a battle over brand names, trademarks, and future contracts. If this fight becomes public, it could mark the first time a royal challenges Parliament itself, fighting the monarchy from the outside. The Queen's era is gone. The calm, the order, the steady hand, all gone. In its place stands a fractured family, a monarchy adapting to a modern world where tradition is under attack and reputation is everything. And at the centre are Harry and Meghan. Once the fairy tale couple, once the shining new chapter of the royal story, but that chapter has ended. Now, William rises as the protector of the crown, Parliament firmly at his side. The institution is closing ranks, laws are changing. And far from Buckingham Palace, Harry and Meghan stand at the edge of their own legacy, stripped of royal authority, cut from royal identity, and forced to build a future without the titles that once carried them across the world. This is more than a scandal, more than a punishment, more than a political shift. It is the final reckoning of a story that began with a wedding watched by billions and ends with a letter that changes everything. And as the dust settles, one truth remains: this is not the end. It is only the beginning of whatever comes next in the battle between the monarchy and the couple who walked away from it.